Welcome to this episode of Breaking PSYCHles. This episode is called Mentality. So we're going to be talking about manhood as well as the mental state of wellness and things like that. We are here with Tavon Tatum. He was the director of athletic affairs for the Student Governance Association. So I thought, what better person to choose than a young Black person who is interested in wellness and fitness and who could have some educated insight on what's going on with mental health. So how you doing today, Tavon? Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We're just gonna obviously jump right into it. Can you define wellness in your own words?
Wellness to me is like, being in a good state of mind.
Okay.
Having a good hope overall.
Okay.
It's different, the 9 dimensions of wellness. You
Okay.
got financial, you got environmental wellness, you got social wellness.
Okay.
The main ones I would say financial is one. You do have spiritual wellness, praying and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I think financial, because everybody deals with finance and money and things like that. We all stress out about that. Also, interpersonal, which is like social and things like that. That's a big one too.
And do you think that physical health is more important than mental health, or are they equally important, or is mental health more important?
I think personally, that mental health is much important than physical.
Okay.
The only reason is because if you think about it, your mental health has to be strong in order for your physical self-being to be strong, because we all, say for example for fitness, like we all have to start somewhere.
Okay.
We gotta start our journey and everything. And in order for us to say like gain or lose weight, you have to be strong mentally first before you see the physical appearance. So I definitely think mental health is a big one. Like you have to be strong in a lot of situations.
Yeah, and you have to have the idea that you want to do something in regards to health. Because I know I don't come from a family who focuses on any type of health. So when I was in high school and I had an opportunity to like go to the gym and stuff like that, I didn't really take advantage of it. I was just like, I'm not sweating, like I'm not doing that. But then as I started to get older and I took a couple of nutrition classes and wellness classes, I'm like, first of all, I had this great facility in front of me that I could have been using. And second of all, like this is how people live long, by being mentally, physically, emotionally healthy. And it's not just about you can't just be mentally healthy, because you also have to think about your body. Like if you're mentally healthy, but you're eating very poorly and you're not doing anything as far as health-wise, it can affect your heart. It can affect your mentality, because then you start to look at yourself as somebody who's unattractive and things like that. So I think it's all connected, but I definitely think it starts with mental health.
It does
and
start,
then matriculates into physical health.
Yeah, for example, I'm gonna just be quick with this one. I'll say for college students dealing with finals week, I had to have a whole meal prep for like the whole week. The only reason is because when we get stressed, we start to binge eat, we start to eat junk food. And we just start to like cram different things, and then you're like mentally not focused at all. So it's like when it comes to final week, that's why I tell a lot of people like make sure you have fruits and vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Just drink endless water. Try to go out and get your stuff prepped. Because it's very stressful dealing with finals and things like that, studying.
That's a good example.
That's a key example for most of the college students.
Okay. Tell us where your desire for health in general came from. Like, did you come from a family that focused on that, or did it just come out of nowhere? Did something happen?
It's multiple reasons.
Okay.
I would definitely say one, my family was not with the health, and my father always knew like I would always eat salad when I was young. Like that was just something. So it was like it was always something that I had. But then I didn't find out until like my junior year in high school, where I realized like I'm about to graduate. I don't want to play basketball. The coach wants me to play basketball. I don't want to play basketball, but I want to do something that involves sports or basketball and things like that. So then I did a little research. When I was about to graduate, I was like, okay, I need to know why I'm going to this school for, and like what my major would be. So my major would be like exercise science, for example, which is it's dealing with like kinesiology in the body and stuff like that, anatomy. And so once I knew what I wanted to go to school for and like study. Then when I got to Prince George Community College, you know, I got to take different classes and things like that. But I was like, now this is where a time where you gotta think like, what am I about to be doing in life? And so once I realized like, okay, if I'm about to go do this fitness stuff, I gotta make a social media. I gotta make my Instagram, which is Tavon_fitness. That's on Twitter too.
Follow him.
Thank you. And I was like, because once I do that, then I'm pretty sure not just doors, but I'll get connected with different trainers and people. I made it last year, so this is the second year. I've met different trainers, you know, different people just by making this page. And so my main desire really came from like just knowing I wanted to do this and I really wanted to, you know, continue, and I had a purpose in doing this. Also, like, not to get too emotional here or anything, but like also another thing was, so my friend passed like last year, right?
Okay.
2 years ago. And so I felt like, you know, if she was still here, she would be pushing me right now to keep going and keep pushing. And that's why, like, I got a reason to keep going instead of just stopping and quitting with different things.
Yeah.
So, like, that was also another reason. But, you know, it was that and just the fact that I just knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
You didn't want to be on the court, but you wanted to have connection with the court. Got you. And I know a lot of people do get to a point where they graduate high school and they really just floating and kind of not really knowing the direction. So it was important that you did do the research and know that although I don't want to play basketball, I do want to have some sort of understanding and education behind athletics and sports and health. And so that was good. You feel like in the past, like maybe, you know, for example, you just use your friend, losing your friend. Did you ever get to a point where you felt maybe mentally down and it had an impact on your physical health, or your physical health impacted your mental health? Have you ever gone through something like that?
Yeah, based from that situation, like for weeks, you know, I was kind of in this box. Like, I would just stay to myself for like weeks and stuff like that. But then it came to a time where it was like a light bulb, it was a switch. And it just came to me like, all right, now it's time to like go. Like, now it's time to really focus and really like do what I have to do and what my purpose is in life. So.
Get out. Sorry, we're recording a video. I'm sorry.
So yeah, like I was saying, I was just at that time mentally I was down. Like, I wouldn't eat, you know, I wouldn't focus, and that really affected me a lot, you know, physically too. Mainly mental, you know, and it's just a switch that like you can't stay in the same spot forever. You know, time still goes on. You still gotta do what you have to do and what you're here for. So that's why I continue to like, you know, keep pushing no matter what. You know, I don't really want to make an excuse because the world don't really care for excuses.
And I see on your Instagram how you do try to stay consistent, and you're also realistic with the fact that it's hard to be healthy, and you know you're going to fall short and maybe grab a bag of chips or something like that, but to acknowledge it and to bounce back from it is the whole point of the whole journey, because this fitness stuff is not just a hobby, it's a lifestyle. So you either choose it or you don't. So as a person who is studying fitness and wellness and health, where do you think diseases come from? Because there's a lot of information out there that is connecting diseases to food, and I for one agree 1000%.
I do think with the food, I think it is a connection with food. Stuff. There's so much false stuff and it's true stuff. Like, it's crazy because it's like, I feel like it's in between and you don't really know which is which.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, based off me as a student, like, I'm not a professor, so I don't really study this stuff like on the daily or anything like that, like break it down. But based off like recent information that I've seen, I think it goes back into like history. Clearly, you know, it goes back. Whether or not it was in the U.S. or out of the U.S. and came from somewhere, you know, it's different things.
Well, there's a documentary on Netflix about food. I forgot the name of it.
I think it's What Is Health.
What Is Health?
Yeah,
yes,
right,
and
I need
you
to
seen
watch
that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically about how what we are consuming is what is causing things like diabetes, cancer, heart failure, cardiovascular disease, a lot of these diseases that really can be treated. We know that there are natural remedies that they are trying to keep away from our societies in particular, because we're not as inclined to read books about health and natural resources and things like that. So they're using it as an industry, obviously, to make money, but also not really enlightening people that food plays a major part, because you are what you eat. And if you're eating things like starches and processed foods and MGM seasonings, I think that's what it's called, you are more likely to have high blood pressure, and you are more likely to have cardiovascular diseases like strokes and heart attacks. But what we eat in the hood is not good at all. Like even pig's feet and chitlins and things like that. These are reminiscences of animals that are like the worst of the worst parts. And although they may taste good when they season with vinegar and Lowry seasoned salt, it's not good for us.
It's not. As you mentioned that, just tag on to the, the hood part. If you think about it, what is in there's different fast food. There's nothing but fast food. There's food deserts, and it's like I had to do a paper on this. That's why I know a lot about this, because it's nothing but food deserts. I'll go in different parts. We go in different parts of PG County. You'll see Checkers. You'll definitely see McDonald's. That's top one. You'll definitely see Burger King, and you'll definitely see Wendy's. You barely see it. You barely see a fresh like grocery store, like a giant. It'll say like a supermarket.
Yep.
Not even a brand like Safeway. Not even a brand like Giant or Aldi's. It's like a supermarket.
Yeah.
And then what they do is they selling different produce that's not even fresh, vegetables, things like that. So it's a lot. It's a lot to go about it.
To continue our conversation, we had to leave the gym because they were playing basketball. Do you feel that the fact that you had male role models in your life, maybe your father, your grandfather, mentors, people, other men, black men who you seen interested in health, has that played a role in inspiring you to continue in this field?
Yeah, of course. I think I'll say it started with my grandfather. He's the one that kind of introduced me to the sports, to the basketball and stuff, because he worked as like an athletic director for his job at like the military base. So yeah, so he did that, and that kind of made me want to, continue the path a little bit. My dad played football, but he didn't want to go pro. So
oh, Dad, come on, Dad.
Yeah, that's because he got injured. So I was like, dang.
Okay.
But yeah, the health and the fitness and the sports always been something, a part of me. With other black males that kind of mentor me a little bit, some of them are already, like made it, and they will respond. They will respond. I would say that, because it's like, it's not like I'm asking for a shout out.
Gotcha.
I'm asking for some guidance. I'm asking for some help. I'm asking for some tips. And of course, they would definitely, take the time out their day to really respond. And they would send me some like great messages and be like, don't even worry about the Nike deals. Don't worry about Under Armour right now. All that stuff is gonna come, bro. Like, if you just keep working, once you get up there, they will come for you. Don't go for them. So it's like, that also inspired me, I would cut out the messages and print them out, kind of put them up in my room, because it's like, this person that made it, they got a blue verified check for Instagram, stuff like that, and they still, they still doing it. I don't really have like local mentors, but I would say mentors is something that's very important, especially in this field. I think any field, honestly, mentor is something important, whether you mentoring somebody or you're trying to find a mentor, because we all trying to make it, honestly, and you can't do it by yourself. You gotta have a team. You gotta have people to really push you and really make sure you're on the right track and doing the right things.
A young black man growing up, what advice can you give to basically struggling men or men who haven't found their purpose, or even just young people who aren't guided in the right way or may not have those mentors or the inspiration to have their own sort of self-motivation? What advice would you give to them?
I would say, for one, I would say like, blooper. I would say to just continue to pray. One, have that spiritual connection with whoever, you know, you believe in, whatever God you believe in and things like that. Seek help. Everyone needs it. Everybody's not perfect. You know, we all need help. As far as young black male men that are in school, there's different resources. In high school, in college, community college. So, you know, all you have to do is ask and try and connect, because there's a lot of people that's in your shoes, and there's a lot of people that got to a point where they left where you were, and they were in your shoes, but now they're somewhere higher, and they may come back and say, oh, I remember when I was in your spot. So it's not like, you know, it's always somebody that's better than you. Now, like, you could seek help, you know, that's not a problem.
And I think that you have a voice that many people don't seem like as cool. Like, you can still be hip, you know, you can still listen to your trap music, you can still be from the hood, you can still be a thug for real. But you can also be professional, and you can also think outside of the box and have a profession that is not the standard. Oh, because people, I'm sure people expected you to play basketball. People expected you to play sports, but you can be the manager. You can be the business person behind it. Do you think that, you know, black men have a chance to do things outside of the stereotypical jobs and force, like, for example, being a police officer or being an athletic trainer or a physical therapist? I know those aren't common things, but what can you say would make people think outside of the box of the stereotypical jobs?
I think with stereotypical jobs, like, I believe you should want to do what you want to do. Not because your mom said or your dad or your family, you know. Nah, do what you want to do. If you want to be a police officer, be a police officer. Just know what's the circumstance of today's world and what's going on. And if you want to be, it's police officers on Twitter, and they will show they in the hood and they talking to young brothers. They playing basketball when they racing, and it's like, you know, at least connect, you know, with, you know, your different audience, and just be yourself. You know, be yourself. If you really feel like you can't get this job because it's a white man or whatever, nah, like, have faith. Go and do it. You know, the worst thing that can happen is if you fail, or they reject you. But it's always different doors and routes and stuff that you can maneuver, and you just gotta have the faith. And you just gotta believe. Honestly, I feel like any man can take on any job, become a billionaire, become a millionaire. You know, different things like that. It don't matter where you from.
Quickly, last question. Do you believe that chivalry is dead? I know that a lot of people think that, oh no, that old way of living is, don't nobody do that no more. Men don't do that. But I think that it's still alive and well. What do you think?
I'm the type that would say it's alive, but what I see, it is dead. What I see is dead, but me personally, it's alive. Like, my mother taught me right, you know what I'm saying? And I do, you know, I respect women and stuff like that. But, like, I be seeing young ass and
he ain't messing with none of you ladies. Not yet. Wait till you finish school.
I be seeing people, and it's like dudes, they walk and they go open the door for themselves. And I be like, dang, he ain't even open the door for his girl or his lady. And it's like, it can be cold. And you got your girl, you know what I'm saying, she ship, you got a jacket on.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. In our generation, like, the youngest, they think, you know, they don't be paying attention to stuff like that. I be teaching my brother. I gotta tell my brother to make sure he open the door for my mother and all that. Cause it's like, they grow up and they think it's, nah, she gonna open the door. Or even if a female child raised me to, I'd be like, nah. But like, that be getting to me, cause I be like, hold on, I gotta open the door. Like, you can't just try to hurry up and open the door before me. So it's certain stuff like that, but I think it is that, you know, at an extent.
But you keeping it alive and well as best as you can, right? And training the youngsters to keep it alive and well.
Yeah, I train the youngest too, man. They gotta know the respectful way, how to treat a woman, how to do, you know, the proper things. So.
And how to grow up as a strong black man, because the society beats us and tells us, as black women, as black men, that we aren't worthy, but we are worthy, and we can do this. And It doesn't matter where you come from, what your circumstances are. You can make a name for yourself. You just have to find your passion, find what it is that you feel like you can contribute to this world, and do that, and stick to it. Giving up is not an option. So I just want to say thank you so much, Tavon, for coming on to the show. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. This guy is going to go far in life. Follow him on Instagram at Tavon Fitness underscore fitness. Yeah. I'm going to put the thing on the thing, however it works. But shout out to you, and we're going to be doing more episodes talking to more black men about what it is to be an empowered black man, a decisive black man, and an intentional black man, and how society cannot keep us from greatness. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bye.
Man, shout out Breaking PSYCHles. Oh wait, which episode is this?